Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on ABS Television. The headlines. Anambra State government warns those illegally parading themselves as traditional rulers to desist or face the full weight of the law. Society of Nigerian Artists calls for readoption of Uli as a symbol of the Igbo ingenuity. NLC insists new minimum wage is binding on all employers of labor. 6 killed in jihadist attack in Burkina Faso school. My name is Priska Wankwa, and now the news in detail. The Anambra State government has noted with dismay the trend of some people who lay claim to the leadership of traditional institutions in some communities in utter violations of the customs and traditions of the community. According to a statement signed by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. C. Don Adenoba, this is also in total disregard for the laws governing the selection and recognition of traditional rulers in the state. The statement notes that this is particularly against the 1976 law guiding the selection of traditional rulers and the 1986 amended law in the state. This is coming against the backdrop of a certain Chuka Idigo, who has been parading himself as a traditional ruler against the enthroned traditional ruler of Aguleri, Dr. Michael Idigo, who was crowned accordingly to the customs and precepts of Aguleri people and the long-lasting Idigo dynasty, and was clearly certified by the state government. The statements reassured that the state government has remained faithful to the resolve not to engage in any act that could bring the royal institution to public ridicule or disgrace, while understanding the unique and sacred role of the traditional rulers in the state and in our society. Therefore, urges those pretending to the throne of the traditional leadership in any part of the state to desist forthwith and be aware that the state governments will not condone any act of indiscipline and lawlessness from them, as they will be made to feel the full weight of the law. The State Police Command says it has arrested one Collins Ike, suspected to be the receiver of stolen goods at Linka Road, or Idemili North local government. According to a statement signed by the police public relations officer in Anambra State, Mr. Haruna Mohammed, preliminary investigations has revealed that the suspect is a receiver of stolen vehicles. The statement further says 200 CRV vehicles with registration numbers AL291GRA, black in color, and PR226AAA were recovered from the suspect, with one of them earlier reported stolen. The case is under investigation and efforts ongoing to apprehend fleeing accomplices in order to bring them to justice. The elevation of Mrs. Uche Chukura to the post of a corps commander by the Federal Road Safety Commission has once again re-established the link between dedication to duty and promotion in office. Speaker after speaker on the occasion of a decoration confirmed these long-held principles. Ekwi Ajide was at Anambra State Command Headquarters of FRSC Amobia, and our reports.
Decorating the new corps commander, the zonal commanding officer, Kehinde Adeleye, said the day was possible because the celebrant was hardworking and dedicated to her duties, hence the recommendation from different quarters. He enjoined other officers to put in their best while waiting for reward.
Major fact is a day of joy. Like General Commander said, promotion is a recognition of performance, antecedents, dedication. It's also a call to more commitment, more hard work. The result for hard work is more work, now more tedious.
In his remarks, the state commander of the corps, Ayodele Kumapai, commended Officer Chukura, whom he described as the only woman operations acknowledged in the agency for never relenting in her dedication to duty. He explained that Mrs. Chukura rose from the ranks over a period of 27 years.
Dedication
more loyalty to the system, and more responsibility. I also believe that the management that have deposed that confidence in her expect a lot from her because of her antecedents. I can only say here that she is one of the few lady officers, senior officers we have in the FRC that is an operational base from essential.
Others who spoke on the occasion, including the Commissioner of Police, CP Mustafa Daura, the State Commander NDLEA, Mr. Sule Momodu, the Delta State Road Safety Commander Isaac Ame, among others, re-echoed the need for selfless service. Corps Commander Uche Chukura, who was full of praises to her seniors on the job, burst into songs of praise and thanksgiving to God.
Praise the Lord! Praise the Lord! Let our heads hear His voice. Let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, through Jesus, the Son, and give Him the glory. Praise Him, He has done.
With this decoration, Corps Commander Uche Chukura becomes the highest-ranking female officer from her state of origin, Rivers, in Oka, Ekwi, Ajide, ABS News.
The decline in the usage of popular traditional uli as a means of makeup and decoration in the post-colonial period is a reflection of the sorry state of the cultural heritage of Ndibo. This became the reason the Society of Nigerian Artists, Anambra State Chapter, in memory of Professor Uche Okeke, celebrated the third edition of Uli Day, which usually provides a platform for students, the academic world, and other stakeholders to discuss the need to preserve art while appropriating the work of Igbo Uli classists that helps to reinforce and preserve the Igbo identity. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike attended the 2019 Uli Day celebration and filed in this report.
Of the over 200 ethnicities in Nigeria that are known for their distinct cultures and heritage, the heritage of the Igbo of eastern Nigeria cannot be fully discussed without a look at the almost extinct uli body and wall painting practiced by Igbo women. The Igbo cultural music was used to open up the event that brought about a lively and fun-filled atmosphere, as uli is the Igbo name for the indigo dye obtained from several species of plants and used to draw cosmetically on the human body. Speaking during his opening remarks, the state chairman, Society of Nigerian Artists, Satoni Otikpa, acknowledged that the story of Uli reflects the unsung contribution of women to social development in Igbo land, which the art-loving people of the association have continued to show determination to celebrating African culture and as well give impetus to the ideas of the Igbo and their acts, and appreciated the Anselm Institute, NIMO, for the foundation laid, courtesy of Professor Uche Okeke.
The essence of this is to make sure that every year we do it, and students, especially the youth, the young shall grow. They come up with this idea, they inculcate it in their designs. It's not only that on the body, it's now has been transformed, as I told you. So they have now seen it now, and I know that it will keep developing, and we will keep fighting to bring back our culture. And that's where we are pleading, we are begging that the government should come in here and help us.
In a lecture presentation, the Dean, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Cliff Wanna, who said that Uli is the highest point of design and means of communication, called on Africans to represent their different stories in their cultural belief and avoid imitation of other people's work, and described Professor Uchenna Okeke as a man who has left an amazing impact to the growth of the Igbo nation.
The African art before him, maybe in the 60s or 50s, or maybe during the colonial period, was so heterogeneous. So the people, a lot of art historians did not know how to come in. So they just dismissed them as they know what these Africans do. At most, some try to use ethnic Baido, this is Igbo art, this is Yoruba art, and so on and so forth. You know, they didn't actually take time to take a second look at some of those works.
For the secretary of the association, Prince Nelson Ibamazu, who spoke on Igbo Uri visual language, the challenge of modern ethos, pointed out that the most challenges facing the Igbo language is their fast acceptance to modern trends, which has continuously crippled Igbo cultural heritage.
Rich culture, even in Igbo, in the drawings and so many of them, why would you import these things without taking cognizance of what we have in our part?
From Nimo, in the Ichikoka local government area, Chibuzo Bidiki, ABS News.
Comrade Jerry Nnubia had been returned as the Anambra State Chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress. His emergence was a unanimous decision made by delegates at the State Delegates Conference of the Nigerian Labour Congress held at Norgay Secretariat Complex in Oka. Correspondent Ngozi Obileri tells us more.
The 8-man executives were returned unopposed by delegates from 26 affiliate unions under the Nigeria Labour Congress Anambra State Chapter. This came after the former executive inaugurated in 2015 were dissolved by the national president of NLC, Comrade Ayuba Waba. The executive members are Comrade Jerry Nnubia, Chairman, Comrade Chinwe Orizu, Vice Chairperson, Comrade Ifeanyi Ofodile, Vice Chairman, Comrade Luke Nweke, Treasurer. Others are Comrade Frank Anwibo, Auditor 1, Comrade Paul Uweze, Auditor 2, Comrade Festus Moye, and Comrade Emmanuel Onyejiaka, ex-official members. Administering the oath of allegiance on the members of the new executive, Comrade Waba, represented by the National President, Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, Comrade Chris Ane, charged them to be of good conduct and to always have the workers' welfare as their priorities, and expressed happiness that the Anambra chapter of the Delegates Conference going on in all the states of the Federation went well.
They should play the rules according to the rules, and then respect the rule of law, observe the guidelines, and then come out with a formidable group that will lead respective states.
Responding on behalf of other members of the executive, the new state chairman, Comrade Nnubia, appreciated members of the union for reposing such magnitude of confidence in them, promising not to let them down.
We've done the best we can offer to our workers. We have mobilized our members for the struggle for the welfare of the workers of Anambra State.
In Oka, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
The president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Mr. Ayuba Waba, says the new minimum wage recently signed by President Muhammadu Buhari is binding on all employers of labor in the country. While appearing as a guest on a television interview, he stated that only employers whose workers are less than 25 can be exempted from the monthly 30,000 naira salary payments. The NLC boss, however, decried the varying salary structure of the public and civil service, calling for a guide to make the system uniform. While citing the law, Waba called for an increase in the payments of pensions and gratuity to retired Nigerian workers. Speaking on the 14 employers who failed to meet up to pay the minimum wage, the labor leader said penalty will be slammed on them in accordance with the law. He also explained that the figures can be reviewed for increments on a 5-year basis owing to inflation of the nation's economy, among other issues. Popular movie director Chico Ejiro is returning to the Nollywood scene with a stellar cast led by veteran actors Pete Edochie and Rachel Oniga in the movie Night Bus to Lagos. Also featured in this movie are Mona Lisa Chinda, Daniel Lloyd, Ebube Nwabo, Omawumi Mebele, Paul Obazele, Bolanle Ninalowo, Odunlade Adekola, Eddie Watson, and Lisa Henry Omorodian. For Night Bus to Lagos, the film director tells the story of a young man living a fake life to impress the ladies. However, his past came calling when he least expected, and he had to bear the brunt of the ladies he had lied to. Ejiro holds the record of the Nollywood director with the highest number of released movies. He says he has produced and directed over 85 movies in his career in the space of 3 decades. Armed jihadists attacked a village school in eastern Burkina Faso, killing 5 teachers and a municipal worker. Officials made this revelation. Burkina Faso has seen a surge in attacks blamed on radical Islamist groups, mainly by the Ansarul Islam group, and a group to support Islam and Muslims in the last 4 years. The latest attack happened on Friday evening at Maitagao village in the Koupalogo province, which has been targeted by extremists. A municipal worker was also killed in the same area, several sources revealed. Burkinabe President Rochmark Christian Kabore said he firmly condemned this cowardly and ignoble killing and vowed to track down the perpetrators. The attacks were initially concentrated in the north of the country, but then the capital, Ouagadougou, and other regions were also targeted. And now sports news. FIFA will hold talks with human rights groups about issues associated with expanding the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, as football's governing body seeks to find at least one more country in the region to co-host the tournaments. Qatar is currently working on a 32-team tournament and is completing 8 stadiums over a 48-kilometer radius. However, FIFA President Gianni Infantino is hoping to secure approval in June to expand the marquee events from 32 to 48 teams. A FIFA feasibility study has already determined that jumping from 64 to 80 games would require 2 stadiums in at least one more country in the region. FIFA Secretary General Fatma Samara wrote to Amnesty International and other activists that this process also includes an assessment of human rights risk and potential opportunities associated with a possible expansion. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS in many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points. Anambra State's government has warned those illegally parading themselves as traditional rulers to desist or face the full weight of the law. Society of Nigerian Artists has called for readoption of Uli as a symbol of the Igbo ingenuity. NLC is insisting new minimum wage is binding on all employers of labor. And finally, from the foreign scene, 6 persons have been killed in a jihadist attack in a Burkina Faso school. And that's the end of the Breakfast News on ABS Television. Many thanks for watching. My name is Priska Wonko.